Hello, it's Evelyn, aka Milklard, and in 4 months I went from this to this, and I'm gonna show you the split that got me there. I've been going to the gym for almost 2 years now, but it hasn't been until these last 4 months that I've actually considered myself training. These last 4 months I've had a proper split, I've been eating my protein and proper calories, and I've actually been pushing myself and really going hard on my workout. And I've seen so much change in these last 4 months, and I've gained a lot of knowledge, and I'm hoping I can share some of the knowledge I learned with you guys at home. This video is for anyone interested in a split, but more specifically it's for my girlies at home who want to enter their gym baddie era but just don't know where to start or what to do. This is a 6-day workout split, which is a bit much if you're just starting off. I wouldn't recommend going full force 6 days. You want to slowly build the habit of working out, getting active, leaving the house, whatever. But I'm hoping sharing my split gives you a good idea of how you can build your own split. So I do 3 leg days, 3 upper body days. This can easily turn into a 4-day split. Just knock off 1 upper, 1 leg day. You'll be fine. So along with this video, I did also make a free workout program. The only thing is I don't have like the email chain thingy set up so like it automatically sends to you. But you can just email me directly here, and if you ask for this specific workout program, I will send it to you for free. No worries. Having it written out is a lot easier so that you just already go into the gym knowing what you're gonna do that day. But before I get into breaking down my split, there's a couple things I would like to add. My goal with this split was to just gain as much mass as possible. I was training for hypertrophy, I think that's how you say it, and I was also bulking during these 4 months. So like I said, I was training for hypertrophy, which just means like I was just trying to get my muscles to look as big as possible, which meant I was doing like 12 to 15 reps. So for every single workout I'm going to share, I was doing 4 sets of 12 to 15, and I'm going to break down how I went through my rep. Through every single rep, I was focused on my form, making sure I could move that weight with as perfect as possible form. If my form started messing up, I would just not go any higher. I would just stop there and be like, okay, I cannot do this weight because my form is now fucked up. I don't want you sacrificing your form to get that weight up. If you can no longer do proper form and you start seeing yourself like contort just trying to get a weight up, it's just too heavy for you. I'm sorry to like hurt your ego, but it's just, you just can't lift it, okay? And that's fine, we're gonna get there. So for my first set, I found a weight where I knew I could do 15 without hitting failure and doing as perfect as possible form the whole way through. These are really controlled, good 15 sets, okay? It's really lightweight. This is the warm-up, okay? Your very first warm-up. You just want your body to be like, okay, this is my ideal set, okay? Like this is how it should be looking for the rest of my sets. So now for my second set, this is still a warm-up set, but this is just going to be a little bit more challenging because we're actually going to try and hit failure. We want to hit failure at 14 to 15. So you're finding a weight where you're like, okay, I can still do the 15 perfectly, but like we weren't going to get to 16. Now for your third set, this is going to be the heaviest of all 4 sets. You want to try and find a weight where you're only doing like a max of like 12. Now for our fourth and last set, you're going to do a weight slightly lower than you did on your 3rd rep. Obviously, if on your 3rd rep, all you could do was 8, then like you're going to want to go a lot lower. You want to find a weight where you're doing like maybe 12, 14. Usually what I do though on my very last set is like I'll do little pulses. So like it's still, my form is still fine. It's just I can't go the full range of motion. So let's say for example, we're doing like a tricep extension, right? And I can do a good 8 full range of motion. But it gets to a point where like it's starting to get a little hard, maybe around 8 or 9 reps in, right? What you want to do is still keep going. You're still having good form, everything. But what you're going to be doing is just little pulses where you know you can't push the whole way down. But you're just going to be here until your arms are like, fuck, I literally can't even move anymore. So one last thing before I start explaining my split. Before every single workout, I made sure to do a nice stretch and warm up. I have a pretty long stretch and warm up. It's about like 30 minutes. You don't have to do all that. Honestly, like I'd rather you do a 5-minute stretch than no stretch at all. Expect a separate video on my warm-up and stretch routine. I just think that deserves its own time and explanation. I do think this is enough yapping though, so let's get into the split with day 1 being glutes and hamstrings.
We're going to start off day 1 with doing hip thrusts. I usually start with these since these are really good to activate your glute. Just make sure you keep your chin tucked and core tight while you do this. Your legs should be at a 90-degree angle, making an L shape when you reach the top of your movement. Next, we're doing glute focused hyperextensions. Now, I know these look a little silly, but these are really good for building that butt. Once again, you're going to keep your chin tucked, and you're going to want to curl your back when you reach the top of your movement. You're not arching your back. Please don't do that. You're just going to hurt yourself. So we're going to have a hump on our back and then squeeze those cheeks really tight, almost like if you're digging your tailbone into the seat. Our third movement is going to be RDLs. Since I've started my gym journey, RDLs have been my worst enemy. I just cannot get them down. It's only been until maybe this last month that I started to feel like I'm actually doing my RDLs right. I have really bad balance, and it just made it impossible for me to do RDLs. I would only feel it in my back. But since last month, I've started working on my balance, and I've seen an improvement in my RDLs, and I'm really happy. So I can't do any weight on RDLs, but we'll get there. RDLs are troubling for a lot of people, but it's a movement that you really do have to try and get down because it's essential for leg days. Now we're gonna finish off day 1 with doing hip abductors. I see people always lean forward or do some weird variation when doing these, but don't lean forward. I feel like that only gives you more cramps. That's it for day 1. Now for day 2, our first upper body day, we're going to be doing back and shoulders. This is also my favorite day of my split. We're going to start off with doing pull-ups. If you want that Dorito build, start doing your pull-ups. Make sure to retract your scapula throughout your entire workout. You want to go fully down, and on the way up, point your chest upwards and imagine if your elbows were going to touch your hips. Now we're going to do lat raises. I do have a lot of imbalances in my body, and I have a weird tilt when I do my lat raises. It's something I'm trying to work on. Make sure you're not swinging the weight around when you're doing these. Your hands shouldn't be going higher than your shoulders. Now for my favorite workout of all time ever, we have shoulder presses. When I started doing shoulder presses, I realized such a big change in my shoulders. I even had people telling me what are you doing to your shoulders, because they look insane. I like doing these on a bench, but there is many other ways you can do this. You can do these with a barbell, or most gyms should have a shoulder press machine. Just make sure you set it slightly above your shoulder just to avoid some strain on your joints. And if you have some imbalances, you can also do these single-handedly. Now to wrap up our back day, we're gonna do some seated rows. I keep my posture pretty straight, focusing on my core being tight. Now I am extending my arms fully, but I'm not leaning forward when I do this. And when I bring the weight back, I imagine my elbows touching each other. We're now at day 3. This is going to be our second leg day of the week. We're going to be doing quads and hamstrings. Our first workout will be a hamstring curl. I like to do these laying down, but you can also do these seated. I recently changed the way I do these since I am trying to focus more on my core being engaged throughout all my workouts. I don't know if you can tell in this video, but I'm trying really hard to keep my head up and core straight. I'm trying to keep my tailbone from moving all over the place when I'm kicking up. I feel like I can better my form on these, but I still haven't figured out the best way to do these. Next off, we're going to be doing leg extensions. In my opinion, this is the best exercise for your quads. Once again, we want to make sure that we're not swinging the weight around. You also want to make sure your butt is glued to the seat. You don't want it lifting. Next, we'll be going into hip abductors. These are great for that inner thigh. When these start to get a little bit challenging, I will use my hands sometimes to just help close the leg. And to finish off our leg day, we're just going to be doing some leg presses. Just please be careful to not lock your knees when you do this. You can seriously get hurt. Day 4, we're going to be doing chest and tricep. We're going to be starting off with some dips. Since I started working out, I've dealt with a lot of elbow and tricep pain. Doing chest and tricep was sometimes very impossible. I would just skip it altogether. But recently I've been trying to fix my imbalances and weird pains that I have, and I'm finally able to do my chest and tricep workouts. They still aren't the best, and I still do deal with some pain, but I'm slowly getting better, and I'm honestly proud that I can even do an assisted dip, because before this was impossible. So after we do dips, we're gonna move on to tricep extensions. I did realize in this video it looks like I'm extending a little bit too much, and it's something I clocked, and I'm not doing that anymore. When you do these, just make sure you don't go all the way back up. Keep the weight at a 90-degree angle. Next off, we're gonna be doing dumbbell incline presses. You're gonna want to bring the weight to mid chest and then push back up. So once again, I do these seated, but there is a machine that you can do these on as well. Same thing as the incline press. You're just gonna make sure that your hands reach where your mid chest is, and then push back up. Our next workout is going to be tricep overhead. This is one of the workouts where I'll feel pain from time to time. So I'm still not the best at doing these, but I really do want to try and get these down. That's it for day 4. Now for day 5, our last leg day of the week, we're going to be doing glutes and quads. If you wanted a shorter split, this is definitely one of the days that you can knock off. Once again, we're going to be starting with hip thrust, and then we're going to go into a single leg press. A single leg press is going to target your glutes a lot more than a regular leg press. When doing single leg or arm movements, you want to find which side of your body is weaker, and then you're going to start with that side. So however many you can do on your weak side, you're going to match that on your stronger side. So if you can only do 10 reps on your left side, you're only going to do 10 reps on your right side, even if your right side can push more than 10. Next off, we're going to be doing goblet squats. I really don't like these, but I know they're good for your quads, so I do them. So I use the plate to elevate my heels, and I'm pointing my toes away from each other. On the way up and down, make sure your knees are not caving in, and make sure that your posture is the same throughout the entire movement. And finally, our 6th and final day of the split, we're going to be doing back with a little bit of shoulders and biceps. So once again, we're going to start off with some pull-ups, and then we're going to go into lat raises. Next, we're going to be doing biceps. I like to do these seated, but from time to time, I'll do different variations. I recommend just finding a variation that you enjoy doing. Then for our final workout, we're going to be doing wide grip pull downs. These are similar to pull-ups in the way that you're fully extending, and then when you bring that weight down, you're going to be pointing your chest upwards.
And that's it. That's my split. That's what I've been doing for the last 4 months. I am now changing my split. So maybe in another 4 months, you'll be getting another video on what my current split is. I really do hope this video was helpful for someone. I do plan to make a lot more fitness content and just content in general. I have not posted here on like 4 years, but sometimes we just need a 4-year little break. And that's fine because I'm coming back full force for you guys. If you want to see more of my precious, beautiful, lovely face, you can also follow me on Instagram or TikTok. All my social medias are under milklardluv. I am also just now on YouTube, so make sure you subscribe if you want to see more of my videos. Bye bye! Go work out, go move your body, go do something, go be sexy, shake ass, whatever you have to do. Goodbye.